Hi, this is Martin in here and another session of iVSAchart for week ending 20th of April 2018. Of course, a lot of our programs in here are for educational purposes. Do take time to read through our disclaimer. Alright, definitely making the headline for the 20th of March is no other than the continued tech dispute between China and Donald Trump. You can see the US Treasury now want to restrain a lot of the Chinese tech companies like Tencent, Baidu, and few of them. And these are causing the market to really go up and down, especially the Nasdaq in here. Also, not forgetting is the aluminum prices that has fallen from a 7-year high, and that's what we saw recently. Precious metal has all making a comeback despite the tariff that was imposed by US on China, but precious metal is covering back in here. Also, what's dragging the Apple share down is TSMC with a lower not so good outlook. That means they're selling less semiconductors, means Apple is really being dragged down and the whole Nasdaq is causing this. That's what we see last night and the last 2 day session in here. Apple continue to go sell off. What does that mean? It means next week we will also see sell off continue with the Malaysian market. Inari, Gatronics, a lot of companies like MPL will be affected too. But good news is the KLCI has hit all-time high at 1895, partly due to the continued rally that we see going into the general election 14. Now we all know general election 14 is going to happen. The polling date will be May 9. What's likely to happen is that going into the last week, just before the May 9, you will see market probably sort of going to have a lot of uncertainty. It's going to sell off a bit in here. Now, if you're positive, which I am, about the bullish outlook of KLSC, go in and buy on May 10, which is the day after May 9. Buy some good quality stocks in here. It's going to be very terrifying, but I can tell you, this is how smart money wash out the weekend holder before they push upwards, right? Just like what we saw in 2013 and 2008. Of course, the crude oil prices has sort of touched around $70 in here due to the Syrian crisis between the Russians and all this chemical attack that we see. The Americans say that we're going to be firing you in here, and they did. That's why we saw the crude oil going up, and that's why a lot of oil and gas sectors in Malaysia are also trading higher because of that. Now, a lot of the markets which is covered by ATA, Auto Trade Advisor, has turned green. Now, one of the things you can see in here, you can see Dow Jones. Right now, we have the minor diamond in here. So we see one session of Dow. But very important, this market is supported by the 50-day moving average, which is this line here. Let me just show you here. It's 50-day moving average and trading well above the 200-day moving average. And to me, that's a sign of a strength supporting at the support, which is what? The 200-day moving average. That's right. Nasdaq is no different in here, taking a cue from a lot of the earnings season, which is coming up, depending on good. But the session that we saw due to the news, which is from the TSMC semiconductor, sort of not so bright outlook, a lower prospect, and dragging out a lot of the tech sectors, especially Inari, and that will spread into the technology sector next week in Malaysia KLSC market. Also, the KLCI first time, despite making the minor diamond, we see here breaking into 1900, the FKLI. This is the FKLI. It is the futures chart, which is the leading indicator for our KLCI. So that's something I'd like to share with you there. Definitely, we have this washout that we see in here, the red diamond in here. And we do see washout very, very common before major big movement that we see. All right, what they want to do is to flush out the weekend holder. All this so-called weekend holder, like the sheeps, they don't like to buy when the market is bad news. But that's where they do. They wash out and they push out. No doubt, this rally, I believe, is only temporarily just to distribute higher going into the polling date of May 9. Also take note of that one. Also, the Straits Times, which is also taking a cue, STI, right, is very, very similar to the GE14, taking a cue from GE14, and that's coming from the KLSC in here. So that's why we got the minor and the major diamond in here breaking up. This is the part again we saw that wash out. Very, very similar, correlated STI to KLSC. And you have the mid-cap stock for SGX also turning minor, major diamond in here. And that's a lot of room because you can look back at the last resistance around 680. There is almost what we talk about here, 50 30 points for the market to go up, and possible 10% for a lot of the mid-cap stocks. So stay tuned, especially those of you watching in Singapore. The chart of the week, definitely we are looking at the post-GE effect on the ringgit. Many of our audience who is watching now in our iVSA YouTube as well in our Facebook are asking what's going to happen to the ringgit after the election. If you look here, we got a good support around, what price is this? All right, around 387, which is this support in here. But I will believe the next general election, GE14, will probably be won by the coalition, okay, because of the money that they're putting in, and that's going to be quite positive for the stock market. So once business as usual, because GE14 is won by likely the Barisan Nasional, then you'll see the market will go through some sort of stability in here, and the market likely to resume back. First target will be around 3.95 here, and really testing the 3.9. At one point, you might see it breaking above the $4 mark. That will be the second half of the year. Right now, we have a double bottom here. From a technical standpoint, you can see here, double bottom. That means this support around 385, pretty strong. Look for a weaker ringgit. So if you're going to change to US dollar this time frame, I suggest you better do it, because second half of the year, from the chart wise, technical wise, you will see US dollar strengthening against the ringgit. Now let's look at the top leader, loser and gainer. First in mind is Singapore Press Holding with the up 5.8% since the minor diamond in here. Singapore Press Holding, they own the Singapore media and many of the newspaper that we see, those of you in the Singapore side. We have the top 1 week gainer, KLSE, as Dion, up almost 90% in 2 weeks time. That's how powerful some of these small cap stocks they do. You know, once they ramp up, after the minor diamond, we see volume coming in here. You can see this is what we talk about, the volume coming in. This thing is going to go up. Be ready to take profit for AS Dion. Don't think to buy, please. Don't think to buy. You got a lot of what we call bullish volume coming out. This thing will turn, I can tell you that. For our top 1 week loser for SGX Singapore market is definitely Best World, just a mere 7% down since the minor diamond appearing on March 23rd, 2018. All right, and for our top 1 week loser from the KLSE side is AirAsia, which we have on the early February, and since then, remember, this market going up, but the volume is low. Every time when the volume is low, iVSA diamonds will not trigger a minor diamond. So take note, markets needs to go up, but it has to go up on increasing volume, not on decreasing one. That's why volume is important. So with that, you could have save yourself a 9.4% in here. This will be a 9.4%, and maybe just turn your attention to other stocks that will benefit. So that's all we have for the weekly outlook that we have for the 20th of April 2019. Do check us out in our Facebook, like, comment and share that on your homepage, so everyone will benefit from our iVSAchart. So that's all we have. Thank you again. Bye bye. I'll see you next.